Yes, yes, the Castanovians. Yes, 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 the Castanovians. All right, boys, how to be assertive. Specifically, how to be assertive as a man. So, what I want you boys to understand before we get into the nuts and bolts of this is even if it's not true, we make it true by believing in it. Perception is very much reality, and as a man thinketh, so is he. Okay, so keep that in mind as we crusade through this live stream. But yeah, how to be assertive as a man. I think this is actually a really important topic, and it's a concept which I struggled with for many, many, many years. I grew up in a single mother household. I had an absent masculine role model. Yeah, I didn't have a father figure in my life to give me the playbook of how to be a man, how to be a manly man who is dominant, who's assertive, who is alpha, right? I never had that. So I very much had to learn the harder way. So in this stream, I just want to give you everything that I would want to hear as a young Casanova in the world. Like how to actually be a man, how to actually be assertive, how to actually get the things that I want rather than settling for the things I think I can get. I spent so many years being the quintessential nice guy, the perpetual people pleaser. Yeah, men didn't respect me, women walked all over me. 4 years ago, I was a porn addict, I had erectile dysfunction, I looked like a turnip, I dressed like a moron. I was living in a grotty apartment in central Leeds, which was infested by cockroaches. I was a low life loser who really didn't have that much to offer the world. And in a relatively short space of time, I have completely turned my life around. I've become the most fuckable version of myself. I've scaled my current business to $42,000 a month. I'm the best in the world at what I do, which is teaching entrepreneurs, business owners, and high achievers daytime cold approach. I get the best client results in the industry. I'm living out here in Bangkok, Thailand. I've got an amazingly awesome girlfriend, and I am a version of myself that I always wanted to be. So, really, what I want to drill into your minds before we go any further is understanding that becoming the most assertive version of yourself is actually a lot easier than you probably think. Okay? This is not really a process of learning anything new. It's actually a process of unlearning. Okay? Maybe write that down if writing it down helps you. It helps me. But becoming more assertive as a man, like being able to get what you want in love, in business, in social relationships, it's not about learning anything new. It's actually unlearning. Okay, it's stripping back years and years and years of social conditioning so we can connect with our most authentic selves. I don't think any scene from any movie better depicts this from a scene in Fight Club. I'm assuming most people watching this stream have watched Fight Club, but there's a scene in that movie where Tyler Durden is talking to the narrator and he says something along the lines of, all the ways you want to be, that's me. I look like you want to look, I fuck like you want to fuck, I am smart and capable and free in all the ways that you are not. And when I first watched that film, the film of Fight Club, it really opened my eyes. I realized that Tyler Durden, he wasn't a character. Tyler Durden is an identity. And Tyler Durden exists within all of us. Because what I found to be true is within all of us, myself included, there is this conflict. There is this conflict between the person who we've always been, the person who we feel as though we should be, and the person who we want to be. And this inner Tyler Durden, this multidisciplinary action hero, risk taker, adventurer, that version of you, he already exists. We just need to unlock him. Yeah, we just need to give ourselves a permission to actually unleash and unlock this version of ourselves, which is just buried beneath layers of social conditioning. So just understand this. Like, nothing else that I'm going to say to you is going to make a shite of difference until you understand that everything that you already want is already within you, right? It's just buried beneath all of this bullshit. So Tyler Durden is not a character. Tyler Durden is an identity. And that is really what I want to give you boys in this live stream. It's not chasing a goal, it's chasing an identity, right? So rather than being like, I want to be more assertive, it's how do I unlock my most authentic self, right? So everything that we already want, it's already there. So what I'm going to do for you boys in this live stream is lay out practical points that you can immediately implement into your life, which is going to allow you to connect with your most authentic self, which is going to allow you to become a more assertive, dominant, #alpha guy. So before that, I think it would be useful to actually define what being assertive actually means. Because Socrates said the beginning of wisdom is a definition of terms. So I think before we actually learn how to become assertive, we need to understand what being assertive actually means. So for me, being assertive as a man, it simply comes down to being able to express your thoughts, your feelings, and your opinions in a confident, transparent way. Like, being assertive as a man, for me anyway, it doesn't involve belittling people. It involves elevating ourselves. It involves putting ourselves on a pedestal. It involves saying what we want rather than what we ought to say, right? So if at the moment you're anything like I used to be, you are the quintessential nice guy who is a people pleaser, you're petrified of rocking the boat in case you piss people off, or you're scared of losing value in the eyes of other people, like you're scared of enforcing your full God-given masculinity. Like, I do understand that. Like, I grappled with this for so many years just because I didn't have a masculine role model in my life. So now we know what being assertive as a man actually is. Let me just give you like clear, actionable points that anybody can do to start feeling more assertive as a man. So the first thing that I want to talk to you boys about is something that I call awakened animalism. Okay? Awakened animalism. So something that I believe to be true is, at our core, we are virile, red-blooded males, and we have imprinted into our DNA the capacity for creation, conquest, competition. But modern society has done its best to drill this out of us, yeah, through instant gratification activities like porn, processed foods, social media, etc. So really, becoming more assertive as a man, for me, begins by realigning ourselves with our biology. All right, you know, before I was saying to you that you've already got everything inside of you, and this is really a process of unlearning and unlocking your most authentic self. So this is where we start off. Like, if you want to become more assertive as a man, the fastest, most reliable way to do so is realigning ourselves with our biology. And the best way to do this that I found is through combat sport. So for those of you who don't know, I'm currently out here in Bangkok at the moment, and I'm training Muay Thai 3 times a week. So I do 3 90-minute one-to-one sessions. And I think, like most people, I had a lot of resistance to actually putting myself into that animalistic atmosphere of a fight gym, right? Like, I'd always flirted with the idea of fighting, but I always came up with convenient excuses like, oh, now's not the right time. Oh, I'm really busy with my business. Oh, I don't have the time for it. Oh, well, I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. Like, all of this incessant bullshit. But really, the reason why I didn't want to learn to fight was because I was scared, right? I was scared of confrontation. I was scared of humiliating myself in public. I was scared of being a beginner and having my ego capitulated like confetti. But after my very first session, like, I remember it vividly. I was sat in the back of a a taxi here in Bangkok, and I just had dinner with one of my really close friends, and we had a conversation which ignited my desire to learn how to fight. So whilst I was in the back of that car, I found a Muay Thai gym in Bangkok. I sent off an email. I was like, hey, I want to commit to actually learning how to become a proficient fighter. So I signed up for 10 one-to-one sessions, paid the money, went for my first fight session. And dude, it's like, after doing just that first session, like just like forcing myself to go into the fight gym, right? Just like putting myself into that environment where I was like, fuck, I feel so scared right now. Like I'm watching, like I walk into the fight gym, there's other people like swinging legs and like just like taking punches and like, fuck, like what am I doing right now? Like I've got all the reasons in the world not to be in this atmosphere, but something has compelled me to put myself here. So I've now done 7 one-to-one Muay Thai sessions, and like apart from the joy of actually watching myself progress, I feel more confident. I feel more capable. Like every time I go to the Muay Thai gym and I put myself through periods of pain, like I'm literally taking blows, I'm landing punches. Like the guys in the gym are getting me to do sit-ups and just like smashing my abdominal muscles with like a fucking bag. It's like 20 sit-ups, let's go. It's just really helped me to just kill that little bitch inside of me, I think is the best way to put it. It's like, I think for so many of us, myself included, not that long ago, like we've just become these beta pussified little bitches. And I see it so much online with guys. Like the thing that I teach, daytime cold approach, like it's certainly not for the faint of heart. Like, you know, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna get rejected, you're gonna get blown out, you're gonna have your ego destroyed. It's like that for me is what it takes. It's like we are forging a new identity through the fires of adversity. We are investing into the identity of the version of us who we want to embody. One of my favorite quotes of all time is throw me in hell and I'll find a way to enjoy it, right? Throw me in hell and I'll find a way to enjoy it. So awakened animalism, like you've got this tiger, this beast inside of you, right? Which is designed for conquest, competition, creation. I think so many of us are just pissing this away on fast dopamine activities. Like maybe you're at the moment working a job that you hate in a city that you despise. Maybe you're spending all of your time hunched over behind a screen taking loads of Zoom calls. Just get yourself to a fight gym ASAP. Just get that little bitch beaten out of you. And I know it seems daunting. I know you're gonna have 1,000,001 reasons not to actually put yourself into that animalistic atmosphere. But for me, in my own personal Renaissance mission, I just feel more capable. Like I feel more assertive. Like I finish at the Muay Thai gym, I leave feeling like 10 feet tall. I'm on the like the BTS, the SkyTrain in Bangkok on the way home, and it's like I've never had a sensation like this. And I've done a lot of things. I've done a lot of things in my life. I spent a decade performing close-up magic as a magician. I've jumped out of airplanes. Like I used to do solo skydives at 18 years old. I didn't want to do any of that tandem bullshit, so I learned how to solo skydive at 18 years old. I was jumping out of airplanes. Then I took up daytime cold approach, which scares the living shit out of most guys. Like literally going over to women who you don't know during the day, giving them a compliment, carrying a conversation, extending an invitation, be like, hey, you're beautiful, I want to take you out on a date, building a business, like living this international lifestyle. Like I've done a lot of things, but fighting, it just feels right. It just feels like I'm realigning myself with my biology. I would honestly just recommend it to anybody. If you are in my private community, the Entourage, I've already extended this invitation to all of you, but if you ever happen to be in Bangkok and you want me to show you around the city, you want me to take you to a Muay Thai gym, you want to train with me, you want to cold approach with me, you want to go out for dinner and go to the gym with me, it's like all of this is available to all of you boys. Like, if you're in the Entourage, then it's like, you can come over, I will look after you, I'll make sure that you learn how to fight, you learn how to look after yourself, I will be your tour guide for the city. The Entourage is my private community, by the way, so all my private coaching clients get direct access to me, as well as my global community of like-minded action takers. So yeah, if you're interested in working with me personally, then there is a link below this video. But that's awakened animalism, okay? Like, unlocking your inner Tyler Durden, doing things that you are scared to do to unlock that version of yourself which has been dormant. Like, there is a version of you right now that you've always wanted to be, but have been too scared to go for. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I learned the other day that average guys aren't average because they're lazy. They're just average because they're scared of actually trying, right? So if you're currently dissatisfied with your current reality as a man, then like, I have empathy for you. It's not because necessarily you're lazy. It's just because you're scared of actually trying. You're scared of attempting because maybe in the past you've been shamed for trying new things or putting yourself beyond the carousel of comfort or dive bombing into discomfort, trying new, like, I get that. But belief follows action, all right? And it's not about chasing a goal, it's chasing an identity. So rather than being like, I want to be an assertive man, it's how do I become the most assertive version of myself? Like, what does the most capable, confident version of me do? Well, he trains. Yeah, he goes to a boxing gym. He goes out there. He cold approaches. He faces his fears. He dive bombs into discomfort. He does what terrifies him on a daily basis. He uses resistance as his compass in order to mold this majestic, masculine version of him. So, yeah, that's the first principle. Awakened animalism. Just get yourself to a fight gym. Get the living daylights beaten out of you. And I think that will really help you to forge this new identity through the fires of adversity. So yeah, that's the first point. Sign up to a local boxing gym, a Muay Thai gym, kickboxing, whatever it is. Like, you'll find so many cool people as well, like in the fight gyms. So yeah, that's the first principle, awakened animalism. Let me just take a sip of water. By the way, if you're enjoying this live stream at the moment, drop it a like. It tells me and it tells YouTube that you're enjoying these streams and you want to see more of them. Like, I don't hold anything back in these streams. I just give you as much practical utility as possible. You don't need to buy some $997 course. You don't need to sign up for some $40 a month school community. Like, everything on this channel for you is free. And all my courses are free. I give away information and I charge for implementation, meaning that I want you to take all of this, become the most fuckable version of yourself, and then once you're in a position financially, spiritually, physically to join our network and travel the world with us and just become a member of the Entourage, then that's what the community is for. But for now, just keep enjoying the free value and like the live stream if you're enjoying it. So, the second principle, if you want to become more assertive as a man, is actually just start to call out bullshit. Okay? Just start calling out bullshit. Alright? The reason why the stereotypical bad boy is such an arousing archetype is because he just says what he wants rather than what he feels as though he ought to say. Right? So, if you want to be more assertive, then what I would love you to start doing is just calling out bullshit whenever it surfaces. So let me just give you some examples so you actually know what I'm talking about. I'll pre-frame this with, I used to be terrible at doing this, right? So I never used to know how to stand up for myself. I never used to know how to call people out on their bullshit. I was always that guy who would just let things slide because I was scared of rocking the boat, of pissing people off, of losing friends, losing women, losing connections. But I realized a long time ago that women cannot be turned on by a guy who they don't respect. And women are never going to respect a guy who puts them on a pedestal and is out of touch with who he is as an individual. All right, so calling out bullshit. So the other week, me and my girlfriend went out for a meal in Bangkok, and I decided to take her to this rooftop bar. And part of the package of this rooftop bar, like you could pay a little bit extra money and that would guarantee you a seat by the window. So it's like a rooftop bar which was sheltered, but if you paid a little bit extra, you could sit by the window. So I was like, all right, cool, that's romantic. That's romantic. I appreciate the upsell. Let's pay to sit by the window, right? So we get to the restaurant and we get shown to our table. And the table that we get shown to is in the middle, like literally in the center of the room, nowhere near the window. So I turn to the waiter and I say to him, hey, we paid extra to sit by the window. Why are we being chaperoned to a table in the center? And then he just gave me this absolute fluff. He was like, oh, well, if you pay to sit by the window, you're not actually guaranteed to sit by the window because we get so many books. And I'm like, whoa, bro. On the website, it said you pay extra and you're guaranteed to sit by the window. And I'm having this conversation with this guy in front of the entire restaurant. So understand we're sitting right in the center of the restaurant. So everybody can see, everybody can hear. So I'm like, dude, we've paid extra to sit by the window. If I've paid that money, I expect to be sat by the window. And now you're just telling me some bullshit as to why you can't guarantee it. So there's a contrast here, right? So he talks to his manager, he comes back to me, he's like, yeah, we're really sorry, but we can't give you the seat by the window. It really is dependent on just some arbitrage, asinine bullshit, right? So I just say to the guy, listen, bro, we paid to sit by the window. We can't sit by the window, so we'll go somewhere else. So I take my girlfriend's hand and we walk towards the elevator. And in that moment, some of the waiting staff come over to us. I'm like, whoa, we're really, really sorry. There's been a big misunderstanding. Let us show you to an even better table. So long story short, just by me calling out the bullshit, we then get chaperoned to this exclusive part of the restaurant. We get this picturesque panoramic view. We get to actually sit by the window. We get a portion of our meal discounted. We get complimentary drinks, all from the fact that I had the emotional bravery to call people out on their bullshit, right? Understand, being more assertive, like literally just being more assertive comes down to radical honesty, right? If you get delivered a service which is mediocre, if you pay for something which you don't receive, have the emotional bravery to just call people out on their bullshit, right? A former version of me would have just accepted the deal that he'd been given because I would have been too scared. Oh my God, there's people looking at me. Oh, I'm in a really prestigious restaurant. Oh, I can't kick up a fuss. I can't rock the boat. Nah, fuck that shit, right? If you want to be more assertive as a man, if you want to get respect everywhere that you go, if you want to be able to radiate this rock star confidence and compel people without saying a word, it just comes down to you saying what you want rather than what you feel as though you need to say. I see it all the time with the guys who I work with. So the guys who are in my private community, the Entourage, the guys who I privately coach. Dude, we've got 6, 7, 8-figure entrepreneurs, business owners, digital nomads, investors, high achievers. One of the biggest issues that I see is they just lack the ability to be honest, right? Especially when it comes to women, right? Just being able to call people out on their bullshit. Happened another time as well when I was in Bangkok. Again, same girl. We went to another restaurant and we ordered food and it took about 40 minutes for our food to arrive. And I was just like, this is completely ridiculous. So I called over the waiting staff. I was like, hey, we've been waiting 40 minutes for our food. There's a guy over there who got here after we got here, who's been served before us. This is complete bullshit. So, and I remember, again, this is something that I wouldn't have done like a couple of years ago because I would have been too scared to kick up a fuss. But by kicking up a fuss, by calling out the bullshit, by being like, listen, this service is way, way, way beneath par. I got home with my girlfriend that night and she didn't say anything to me in the taxi. So I was like, this is interesting. I wonder what's going through her mind. And then when we got home back to my apartment, she was like, I was so turned on by what you did back there. Like, I feel so protected because when we're able to call out other people's bullshit, especially when we're with our woman, it projects our proclivity as a protector. She feels safe. She feels as though she's with a man who's actually capable of defending her and her children, the family unit. So another thing that I want you boys to take away from this live stream, if you're anything like I used to be, where you're scared of saying the wrong thing or kicking up a fuss or pissing people off, this is how we unlock that version of us, like that inner Tyler Durden. If you're looking for like a mental crux, just ask yourself, what would Tyler Durden do right now? Right? Like, what would the most fuckable, socially free version of myself, like, what would he do? How would he act? And then act in alignment with those ambitions, right? Again, you've already got everything that you need inside of you. You don't need to watch more self-improvement videos. You don't need to buy some bozo's course for $997. Like, you've already got everything inside of you. This is simply about unlocking that version of yourself that you've always wanted to be, but have been too scared to embody. So just start calling people out on their bullshit. It might be friends, it might be family members, it might even be yourself when you start to fill your mind with excuses. Like, let's say you want to go to a local fight gym and then you're like, oh, I don't have the time, oh, I'm really busy with work, oh, what my family gonna think? It's like, no, I'm just being a little bitch right now. I'm gonna drag my ass to the fight gym and I'm gonna sign up for that first session, because you will feel so capable after that first session. So calling people out on their bullshit, another really practical thing that literally anybody can start doing to become more assertive. Like, assertion leads to being more attractive as well. It's just to start saying no more often, right? This is another thing that I find a lot of the guys that I work with, they really struggle to do, is like setting personal boundaries, like just learning to say no. Right? Like, I say no to things all the time. I get DM'd on Instagram. I get emails from guys who are like, hey, Kristian, I've seen your stuff. I want to work with you. I want to connect with you. It's like, yeah, cool story, bro. Then fucking join the Entourage. You know what I mean? It's like, I ain't a charity. You know what I mean? It's like, if you want to connect with me, you join my community. It's like, oh, I want to work with you. Like, do what? I've already got a team. I don't need anybody's help. Oh, I want to be your cameraman. I want to be your right-hand man. It's like, no, dude, like, I don't need that shit. No. So, if your friends are going out drinking on a Saturday night and they're like, hey, bro, come along, but you're like, you know what, I would actually rather stay home and work on my business, then don't just go along because you're scared of losing them as friends. Just learn to say no, right? Brutal transparency. Honesty is one of the greatest aphrodisiacs. I learned this from one of my mentors, Zan Perion. Shout out to Zan, absolute legend. Honesty is one of the greatest aphrodisiacs. If you can just train yourself to be honest and say what it is that you feel rather than what you ought to say, your entire life is going to transform. Not just your dating life, but your personal life, your financial life. You're going to become more ruthless with your time and your energy and your attention. Just learning to say no to invitations, learning to reject anything from your reality that doesn't resonate with you. Yeah, so it's like, if all of your current friends are just going out drinking every single weekend, like, oh, bro, come out, it'll be fun, we're going to be able to like pull some absolute fours and just have all these like crazy adventures. It's like, no, that's not me anymore, right? That's not me, right? You've heard it before. You become the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you're serious about this process of personal renaissance, if you want to become the most fuckable, assertive, abundant, attractive version of yourself, then oftentimes it's about cutting off the people who no longer serve you. So just learn to say no. Yeah, if you're on a date with a girl and she's being a little bit bratty, right? Maybe she's checking her phone every single nanosecond. Just be able to call it out. Be like, hey, we're on a date right now. Right? If you're on a date with me, you don't check your phone every second. Put your phone down, or we're not going to have this date anymore. Right? Just being more ruthless, just knowing yourself, just being able to call out what it is that you actually want. Again, just being honest. Like, the world would be so much more simple if men just relearned how to be honest, right? But I get it. It's like, oh, you're scared of losing value in the eyes of this woman. You're scared of blowing your chances and this woman like not wanting to be with you anymore. You're scared of not receiving love from the feminine. But again, women can't be turned on by a guy who they don't respect. And they're always going to respect a guy who knows himself, who knows what he stands for, and has got clear boundaries. It's like, if somebody crosses one of your personal boundaries and you don't call them out on it, then they lose all respect for you. Like, I've had coaching sessions in the past with clients who've paid me a lot of money to coach them, and they've turned up 30 seconds late, a minute late for the coaching session. I just unleash absolute hell onto them. Like, dude, I don't give a fuck how much money you've paid me. I don't give a fuck how much your business is turning over. I don't give a fuck what Billy Big Bollock status you've got in your industry. We have a time, and I expect you to turn up on time for our session. I very much tell people what they need to know rather than what they want to hear. That's the reason why I get the results that I do. That's the reason why I get the best client results in the industry. That's the reason why I've built the #1 network on the planet for guys who want to master the art of daytime cold approach. Is because of brutal, radical honesty. And if you want to look at my testimonials, link below, that'll take you to my website, my Instagram page, at Casanova Dating. All my testimonials are on there. Evidence has got the loudest voice. So, awakened animalism, right? You've got this beast inside of you. Unleash it through combat sport. That is going to make you feel more assertive, more healthily aggressive. It's going to allow you to just unlock absolute God mode, right? So just learn how to fucking fight. There's no reason on this earth why you can't do that, right? Any reason that you give me, oh, Kristian, I can't learn how to fight because blah, blah, blah. No, you're just scared. You're just being a little bitch. That's what I was. I was a little bitch for years. Now I'm not a little bitch. And one of the fastest ways to do that is just learning how to fight. There's no reason why you can't go to a fight gym. Literally no reason on this earth. No reason whatsoever. I've done it. I have no reason in the world to go there, but I've decided to do it anyway. So yeah, sign up to a fight gym, and then just start calling people out on their bullshit, right? If somebody says something that you disagree with, then openly declare it. Like, challenge people, disagree with people. Just be like, oh, that's interesting. I actually think that. So awaken animalism, call people out on their bullshit. And then the other thing that I want to talk to you boys about is something which is actually really important. So one sec. And again, if you are enjoying this live stream, then drop it a like. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you boys. Dude, I just want to change lives for a living. Like, the way that I view myself like I'm already a millionaire. I just don't have the money in my pocket yet. I view myself like I've already got 1 million subscribers, right? I'm just waiting for the rest of the world to catch up. Like, that's how I operate my life. I operate as though I'm already that multi-million dollar version of me. Like I said to you right at the start of this live stream, even if it's not true, we make it true by believing in it. Perception is reality. As a man thinketh, so is he. I'm going to talk more about identity at the latter end of this live stream. But for now, the third principle, if you want to become more assertive as a man, is actually start to position yourself in assertive environments. Okay, so I learned from Tony Robbins that proximity is power. Okay? Proximity is power. So, in my 27 years on this earth, I've lived in a lot of different places. So, at this point in my life, I've solo traveled to over 30 different countries. And one way in which I've actually been able to reclaim my own masculinity and become more assertive, realign myself with my biology, is actually through osmosis. So spending time in assertive environments, right? So I've lived a lot in Eastern Europe. So I've lived in Romania, Bulgaria. I've lived in Poland and Serbia. So I've been to, Warsaw, Krakow, Belgrade, Sofia, Bucharest. And what I found in these Eastern European bloc countries is masculinity has not been relinquished. So, like, by being in these atmospheres, these environments, it's like I'm watching how the men operate, right? And there is this high level of testosterone, there's this high level of masculinity where men have not forgot how to actually be men. Like, at the start of this year, I was living in Cyprus with one of our guys in the Entourage, Ephraim. Shout out to you, Ephraim. We were living in Cyprus. We lived there for a month together. And one of our biggest epiphanovas from Cyprus was, fuck me, like, the men here are so masculine, right? They're not like tiptoeing around the playing field like so many guys in the West. They just call out bullshit. They lead with authenticity. They lead with transparency. It's like they don't give a flying fuck about, you know, how much money you're making. They don't give a flying fuck about how symmetrical your jaw is. It's like they'll just say it as it is. So what I would recommend to you guys who are watching this stream is just start putting yourself in these hyper-masculine environments. So go and have a weekend away to Eastern Europe, go to Poland, go to Serbia, go to Romania, and just be in those environments. Just be an observer. Just see how the men interact with the women. Just see how the guys carry themselves. Like, they're just like a different smell to Eastern Europe. Like, if you've been there, like, if you know, you know. But it's like, I don't know if it's the pheromones, I don't know if it's the testosterone. There's something going on in Eastern Europe, which is just nice. So, yeah, it's like you just learn through osmosis. It's very similar when you put yourself in a fight gym, right? So I'm out here in Thailand. I'm training Muay Thai 3 times a week with Muay Thai fighters, guys who are like trained killers, right? Guys who've just like been knocking people out in the ring since they're about 7 years old. Just like positioning ourselves in these hyper masculine, no bullshit environments. It's like it's the lessons that we never had as children, right? Like as a child, I was told to like, right, sit here, learn your ABCs, learn about historical dates, learn about Henry VIII and his 6 wives. It's like the system is designed to relinquish your masculinity, right? So by putting ourselves in environments where masculinity is still present, it just allows us to realign ourselves with who we are as men, like becoming more assertive, saying what we want, saying it as it is, not being afraid to just lead with authenticity and transparency. So just get yourself to these places, right? It's pretty fucking cheap over that side of the world as well. Go to Romania, have a weekend in Poland, go to Serbia, go to Bulgaria, and just see how those people do things. By the way, like, Serbian nightlife is fucking amazing. I know one of our guys in the Entourage is going to be going to Serbia soon. He's going to be going to Belgrade. I know he's done some like firearms training as well, which is another fucking cool thing to do. That's something else that I want to do. I want to become proficient in like firearms. Just becoming this multidisciplinarian action hero. Do you know what I mean? Just like capable. But yeah, one of our guys in the Entourage is going to be spending some time in Serbia. It's just fucking cool over that side, man. Like, men know how to be men, women know how to be women. There's this beautiful polarity between the masculine and the feminine. So just like proximity is power, positioning yourself in the environments which are going to help you to unleash this version of yourself. So the final thing that I want to say, how to actually become more assertive as a man, is just to act as if you already are that version of yourself, right? I've been doing a lot of studying and research recently on manifestation, on the law of assumption, and it's just been really blowing my mind, understanding that in order to attract the things that we want, we have to live as though our desires have already been fulfilled, right? So I had a coaching call with one of my mentors recently, and he said to me, Kristian, imagine right now somebody wired you $30 million. Just imagine, just purely as just a thought experiment. Just imagine somebody wired you $30 million and you now had $30 million cash, liquid, right? Just imagine how that would feel. Imagine how you would show up every day. Imagine how you would carry yourself. Imagine how you would interact with the world. And then the Bible says, pray as if it's already been done. Like, if you understand this, it's going to completely change your entire fucking life. Pray as if it's already been done. Act as if your desires have already been actualized. Live as if your wishes have already been fulfilled. Like, just imagine what the most assertive, capable, confident version of yourself would do. Like, what would he look like? How would he walk? How would he act? And then you start with the end already in mind, right? So when I said to you boys before, we're not chasing goals, we're chasing an identity, right? So if you've not done so already, then I strongly recommend that you download my free course, right? So it's called my Most Fuckable Man course. And in that course, I literally give you a clear, practical roadmap for unlocking this version of yourself, which is in there, right? It's in there. That's the beautiful thing about this process. Whether you want to attract love, you want to attract money, you want to have a thriving social circle, it's like that version of you already exists. Like in the fourth dimensional world, there is a version of you right now who is attractive, abundant, assertive. Like that version of you is already there, right? If you can imagine it, you can become it. This is not some like woo-woo law of attraction bullshit, right? Imagination leads to creation. Look at skyscrapers, look at coffee mugs, look at tables. Everything begins through thoughts, right? It's the thoughts which inspire action. It's the actions which lead to creation. So it's like everything that you want is already within you. It's just about making your actions align with your ambitions. Asking yourself right now, what would the most assertive version of myself do? Well, he would probably be training religiously at the fight gym. He would probably be calling people out on their bullshit. He would probably be positioning himself in animalistic atmospheres, in these assertive environments. He'd be going over to Eastern Europe. He'd be finding tribes of people who he resonates with, who can push him, who can guide him, who can support him to become all that he can be. That's why I created my community, the Entourage, right? The Entourage is not just for guys who want to learn how to cold approach. Like, yeah, I will help you become hyper proficient at cold approach. Like, you'll get that side of life handled fast, but it's like, what else we can actually give you is, who do you actually want to become? Like, what do you actually want? What does your ideal reality look like? Like, if you had $30 million right now, what would you do? Where would you go? What would you buy? And it's like, you live with the end already in mind. Like, dude, it's all already inside of you. And I am a living, breathing example of this. I used to turn my nose up of all this like manifestation, law of attraction bullshit. I was like, oh, that's just so woo-woo. It's like, I'm just gonna sit lotus flower position on my kitchen floor, just manifest things into reality. Ha, good one, bro. But then I actually took the time to study it, and I realized that it's the imagination which leads to creation. Like, if you've got a clear, vivid image in your mind of your ideal reality, you know the person who you want to be, then every action you take is an investment into the identity of the version of you who you want to embody. Like, dude, 4 years ago, I had £24.82 of universal credit in my bank account. I was a porn addict. I had erectile dysfunction. I looked like a turnip. I dressed like a moron. I got comments on the regular from guys who were like, you're ugly. You're a 4 out of 10 at best. You are physically disadvantaged. Why are you wasting these women's time cold approaching them? Like, you absolute mess, right? So I've been able to completely turn my life around. I've been able to unlock my inner Tyler Durden. I've been able to embody the version of me that I always wanted to embody, but I was always too scared to try. So it doesn't happen by luck, it happens by design, right? So if there's one thing that you take away from this live stream, understand that becoming your most abundant, attractive, assertive, fuckable version of yourself, it's a process of unlearning, right? Picasso said, it took me 4 years to paint like Raphael, but a lifetime to paint like a child, right? So I think that becoming more assertive, making the money, living the lifestyle, attracting the women, it's like we've already got it all inside of us. We just need to relearn what we've forgotten, right? And again, if you need a practical, clear blueprint for how to actually do this, then download my Most Fuckable Man course. It's completely free. All my courses are free. All the videos on this channel are free. I give away information in the hopes that you actually transmute it into implementation. You become the most fuckable version of yourself. You start putting yourself out there. You start cold approaching. You sign up to a fight gym. You start calling people out on the bullshit. And then when you're in a position where you're like, fuck, I actually want to work with Kristian one-to-one. I actually want to join his network. I want to travel the world with him. I want to attend his weekly group coaching calls. I want to get invitations to his worldwide masterminds. I want to connect with the rest of his guys, the 6 or 7, 8-figure entrepreneurs, the business owners, the high achievers. Like, I just want to level up my life. Then that's what the Entourage is for, right? But there's no rush. I don't need anything from you. You don't need to pay me a single penny. I just want to try and change lives for a living. Like, I really view these live streams as art. I view myself as an artist. I view myself as a creator. I'm not a dating coach. I'm not a pickup artist. I'm not a fucking day gamer. I view myself as a freedom from bullshit practitioner, and everything that I do is an extension of my freedom from bullshit personality, right? I'm going all the way to the top and I'm taking all my people with me. So if you're watching these live streams right now, you are early to the party. Like, you are so early. This is like, if you're watching these live streams right now, this is like discovering Bitcoin in 2008, right? So it's like, understand what you're actually being able to tap into right now. Like, this is very much me right at the start of my journey, right? Even though I'm 27 years old, even though I've been at this cold approach game basically from the age of 13, because it was at 13 years old that I had severe social anxiety. I decided to become a magician, was like going around parks in the Lake District trying to overcome my social anxiety. Like, I've been at this social game for the best part of 15 years now. I turned 28 on 12th of January. But really, I just see myself as just getting started. I really view what I'm doing now as like a decade, 2, 3, 4, 5 decade long project. So yeah, if you're watching me now, you're early to the party, which I think is cool. But yeah, if you're enjoying these live streams, then drop it a like. I appreciate you, boys. Let me see what the comments are saying. Fucking hell, there's a lot of them. Didn't realize. Jesus Christ. Dude looks like he took a bunch of Molly. Yeah, heard that one before. Bro watched his first movie. Blah, blah, blah. Bro is about to go to Manchester United soccer game. Looking F to F. Bro wants to be assertive. His mouth movement pisses me off. Bro, bollocks. Talk about assertive. Make look pray. Haha. Assertive. I wish he'd shut his mic off. Bro, pay attention. Bro, looking like that. Because this is why I don't. If you're in a bad place, just know you are not alone. This is usually why I don't just put the live chat on. Make a goal for yourself. I want to do Muay Thai. Any tips? Yeah, go to a Muay Thai gym. It's not fucking difficult. Nice jawline, bro. Taking loads and smashing dudes in the gym. No idea what you're talking about. Time, no idea. Years worth of goals. This is why martial arts are so useful. I agree. Loving yourself before loving anyone else. Dude puts beast inside of him. Head it. I have no idea what. Martial arts can give you more of a grip inside of you. Do you know how to kick well? Do you want to be a Bangkok? Lol, my advice way better than this guy. Want to be top? No idea. You're in Bangkok. Who's here? Do a flip. God, it's absolute bollocks, mate. Then he passing. Anyway, I appreciate all you boys for watching. The comments, like there used to be a version of me which would have got angry by comments which were left, but then it got explained to me by Ty Lopez, and he was like, dude, people who comment on YouTube videos are actually mentally retarded. Like, no happy person ever leaves a hateful comment. So whatever nonsense has been expostulated in the comments, like, I understand it's a reflection of you. You're not happy with where you're at the moment. You're currently a low-life loser like I used to be. I get that, but, hate never comes from the top. It always comes from the bottom. So, yeah, hopefully you can turn your lives around. Hopefully you can actually improve yourselves. That's all this content is supposed to do, is just to help you boys improve your lives. If you don't like me, if you have any strong impulse towards sending hate my way, then just don't engage with the content. And I do wish you boys all the best with everything going forwards. I know what it's like to be in a dark place in your life. I've been there. It's not nice, but the only way through it is to go through it. All right, throw me in hell. I'll find a way to enjoy it. So if you boys have enjoyed this live stream, then drop it a like, subscribe to the channel. I really, really appreciate all of yous. I wish you all obnoxious success, even the randomers who just leave pointless comments. I wish all of yous outrageous success with everything that you do. And I hope that you find the joy that you seek. This is how to become more assertive as a man. This is just what I've done. This is what's worked for me. Hopefully it works for you as well. I might know nothing. I'm just a 27-year-old kid who's documenting his life one live stream at a time. So if anything that I've said has resonated with you, then like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and if you would like to connect with me and work with me and get mentored by me on a personal level, then you can hit the link below and we can hop on a free 30-minute application call. All right, boys, stay sexy, live legendary. Mwah!